Okay, here's our budget percentage list. So now let's do this. We're going to determine how much money goes into each category every month if we're utilizing this list. So let's talk about how we do that. First off, here's what we're going to use for the formula on every one of these. How much is spent in each one of the categories is the net monthly income times whatever that percentage is. So let's look at an example real quickly. Housing. So we're looking at how much should we budget for housing. Okay, if the net monthly income is this, so you'll need to have that information to start. Housing, we're going to just go to the list here, and it's 25%. So I find that 25%. Now I'm just going to use this formula and say this is what I want to set aside as a maximum for housing for the month. And so I did that. There is my net monthly income. There is my percentage. Do the math. There's the amount of money that I'd say I'm going to set aside in my budget for housing for 1 month. Okay, so now let's do a couple more. So now we're talking about saving. Again, we're going to utilize that same monthly income of 1875. So the first thing we need to do now is go to the list, find that percentage for saving. So what is the percentage that's in our budget list? 10%. Perfect. And so at this point now, again, we're going to use that formula. We have the information that we need. We have the 1875 that's in that monthly income. We have the 10%. That came right out of that list. And so now, how much am I going to set aside every month to save? Beautiful. 187.50. Awesome. Let's do another one. So now let's talk about transportation. Again, so we're talking about our vehicle, gas, upkeep, that kind of thing. Again, same net monthly income. We got to have that information. And so now what do we need to do? We got to go to the list. What's our percentage for transportation? Again, 10%. Beautiful. And again, at this point, we're just using the formula, that net monthly income times the percentage. There it is. There's my percentage. So what is the dollar amount we're going to budget for transportation for the month? Awesome. 187.50. Beautiful. So now let's jump to a different type of example. So we're a percent or dollars for food for the month. Again, same net monthly income. We always have to have that. But now here's that example where we have this range of values, this range of percentages. Okay? And so what we want to do is we want to look at then again, what's the minimum amount I want to set aside? Again, I'm using the same formula. It's the monthly income times that percent, but I'm starting with my low one, so I'm saying I got to budget at least 187.50 for every month for food. But then I need to look at the high end of that. The high end is the 15%. And so I'm going to do that same math, again, that same formula. And so I'm going to do my math. There's the net monthly income, there's the percent. And so it's 281.25. So I want to have set aside at least 187.50, but I don't want to spend more than 281.25 in any month for food. Okay, so it's same process, but now we have a couple of answers and recognize what they mean. So now let's do a couple of more of these. Now we're looking at utilities. Again, I'm going to stick with that same monthly income, but now we're looking for utilities. What is that range of percentages that we're going to have? Great, 5 to 10%. Beautiful. Okay, and so now our low end, what's the smallest amount of money that we want to set aside for our budget for utilities? Again, same formula, monthly income times that percentages. So what's that minimum amount for utilities for the month? Awesome, 93.75. Again, now we need to look at our maximum amount. So we have monthly income times our percentage, but now we're using the high end. And so what's the maximum amount that we want to spend for utilities for 1 month. Awesome, 187.50. Okay, one more example. We're looking at insurance. And so insurance could be vehicle insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance, renter's insurance. It's a combination. All right, again, same net monthly income. We got to have that. We have to have that number. But now we need to go to that list, find the insurance percentage range. And so what is that percentage range for insurance? Great, 10 to 25%. Beautiful. And again, now I'm going to look at what's the low end, what's the minimum amount that I want to set aside. And so that's my 10%. So there that is, monthly income. And so what's that minimum amount I want to set aside for insurance? Great, 187.50. Now I want to look at what's my maximum amount. What do I want to make sure I don't spend more than in a month on insurance? So I'm looking at my 25% now. Again, same formula, monthly income times percent. So what's that maximum amount that I want to spend in a month for insurance? Excellent job, 468.75. Beautiful. And so as we were going through this process, what did we do? We needed to determine the net monthly income. Now on these, I gave you the net monthly income every time, but if we don't have it, we need to determine that. Okay? And then we determine the percentage for each category based on the question being asked. So we're just reading the budget list. We're looking at that list, what's the percentage set aside for each one. And if there's a range of percentages, and so you saw a few examples with the food and utilities and insurance, we're going to use the low and the high end in the formula. So here's our formula. So we chose the low end for the percentage to find out what's the minimum amount we want to set aside, and the high end so we know this is the maximum amount that I want to spend in that category in any month. Okay? And so now let's do this. What are we going to do? We're going to work on that number 20, monthly budget dollars determined assignment. I'm looking forward to your great work.